Malerion's story begins in the ancient world that was, a realm of powerful empires, intense magic, and endless strife. In that world he was known as Malekith, the Witch King of Nagaroth and the ruler of the Dark Elves. Malekith was the son of Anarion, the first Phoenix King of the High Elves, and his tale was one of betrayal, ambition, and a hunger for power that would define him for millennia. In the novels like the Sundering Trilogy, Malekith's descent into darkness is vividly portrayed. His father, Anarion, was a mighty hero who saved the elves from the horrors of chaos, but his legacy was tainted by the cursed blade, the Sword of Cain. Malekith inherited that tainted legacy, and his ambition led him down a path of destruction. He sought to become the Phoenix King, the ruler of all elves, but was denied the throne. In his fury, he waged a brutal civil war against his own people, a conflict known as the Sundering. It was a war that split the elves in two, creating the Dark Elves, who followed Malekith, and the High Elves, who remained loyal to the Phoenix King. Malekith's power was immense, and his mastery of shadow magic made him a formidable sorcerer. He forged alliances with demons, conquered vast territories, and became one of the most feared figures in the world that was. Yet his thirst for power led to his downfall. As the end times approached, Malekith's ambitions grew, and he played a pivotal role in the final apocalyptic battles that consumed the world. When the world that was finally fell, shattered by chaos, Malekith's spirit was not destroyed, it was transformed. As the darkness of the old world faded, a new shadow began to rise in the mortal realms. The Age of Myth, Rebirth in the mortal realms. When the world that was destroyed, the remnants of existence were reborn as the mortal realms. Malekith's spirit survived the cataclysm, finding a new home in the shadowy realm of Ulgu, the realm of shadows. Here he was reborn as Malerion, the Shadow King. The transformation was profound. No longer merely a mortal being, Malerion became a god, a master of shadows, secrets, and deception. In the mortal realms, Ulgu was a place of darkness and mist, where light was a rare and fleeting thing. It was a realm of shifting illusions and hidden dangers, a land that seemed to breathe with the very essence of shadow. Malerion became its ruler, a being of immense power who could manipulate shadows as easily as a sculptor shapes clay. His rebirth is depicted in novels like the Realmgate Wars, the Beasts of Cartha, where the mysterious and enigmatic nature of Ulgu is described as a land that bends to Malerion's will. It was during the Age of Myth that Malerion first encountered Sigmar, the God King. Sigmar was building a pantheon of powerful gods to bring order to the mortal realms, and he sought out Malerion in Ulgu. Their meeting was tense, a clash of personalities as bright and clear as day and night. Sigmar, ever the seeker of light and order, saw potential in Malerion's power, while Malerion, the master of darkness, recognized that he could use Sigmar's ambitions to his own advantage. They formed an alliance, one built on mutual respect but also on suspicion. For Malerion, Sigmar's grand vision of order was just another tool to be wielded, another path to power. During this time, Malerion became a key figure in the creation of the pantheon. He brought with him knowledge of shadow magic, ancient secrets from the old world, and a cunning that was unmatched. The pantheon grew in strength, and the mortal realms prospered. Cities rose, civilizations flourished, and Malerion's influence spread throughout the hidden places of Ulgu. But even in this age of light, Malerion remained in the shadows, his true motives a mystery to all, even to Sigmar. The age of chaos betrayal, isolation, and survival. The age of myth gave way to the age of chaos, a time of darkness and destruction that swept through the mortal realms like a storm. The forces of the chaos gods poured into the realms, spreading corruption, death, and madness. The pantheon of order, once so powerful, began to fracture. Gods who had once been allies turned against each other, their ambitions tearing them apart. For Malerion, this was a time of betrayal and survival. He saw the writing on the wall as chaos began to spread, and he retreated into Ulgu, sealing his realm off from the other gods. It was a calculated move, one that allowed him to preserve his power while the other realms were consumed by war. His isolation is highlighted in novels like The Realmgate Wars, Fury of Gork, where Ulgu is described as a land that becomes nearly impossible to enter during the Age of Chaos, cloaked in shadow and mystery. As the realms fell into chaos, Malerion began to rebuild his strength in secret. He was no longer the broken figure of Malekith. He was Malerion, the Shadow King, a being who had learned the value of patience, secrecy, and cunning. While Sigmar and the other gods waged desperate battles against the forces of chaos, Malerion remained hidden, gathering power, forging alliances with the creatures of shadow, and building a network of spies and agents that would become his eyes and ears in the mortal realms. His realm, Ulgu, became a refuge for those who sought shelter from the horrors of chaos, mages, assassins, and creatures who understood that sometimes darkness was the safest place to hide. Malerion's power grew in the darkness, even as the light of civilization faded. The Age of Sigmar, a return to influence. When Sigmar's stormcast Eternals descended upon the mortal realms, heralding the dawn of a new era, Malerion knew that the time for secrecy was ending. The Age of Sigmar had begun, and with it came the opportunity for the Shadow King to step back into the light, if only for a moment. He re-established contact with Sigmar, renewing their alliance, but Malerion remained cautious. He had seen the realms rise and fall before, and he was determined not to be a pawn in Sigmar's grand vision. In the novels, particularly City of Secrets, the tension between Malerion and Sigmar is palpable. Sigmar, desperate to rebuild his pantheon, needed Malerion's support, but the Shadow King's motives were as obscure as ever. He provided aid, but always on his terms, always with an eye on the future. He was a god who played the long game, weaving webs of intrigue that only he could fully understand. During the Realmgate Wars, Malerion's forces played a key role in several pivotal battles, striking from the shadows with precision and fury. The novel Call of Archaon portrays how Malerion's agents moved behind enemy lines, sabotaging the forces of chaos with stealth and deception. His armies, composed of shadowy warriors and sorcerers, struck with a cunning that left even the most seasoned generals of chaos bewildered. Yet even as he fought alongside Sigmar's forces, Malerion's loyalty remained in question. His relationship with Morathi, his estranged mother, became a point of tension that echoed across the realms. Morathi, a cunning sorceress in her own right, had survived the destruction of the old world, and her ambitions often ran counter to Malerion's own. Their interactions are fraught with suspicion and manipulation, as depicted in Broken Realms. Morathi, where their uneasy alliance shifts like the shadows of Ulgu itself. The Necroquake and the Soul Wars, a game of shadows. The necroquake unleashed by Nagash, the god of death, was a turning point for the mortal realms. The surge of death magic sent shockwaves through reality, disturbing the balance of power and tearing open rifts between realms. For Malerion, it was both a threat and an opportunity. He had long watched Nagash's rise with weary eyes, knowing that the Lord of Death's ambitions were a danger to all, even to the gods. In Soul Wars, the consequences of the necroquake are vividly described. The death magic that flooded the realms threatened to destabilize Ulgu, and Malerion was forced to act. His agents moved swiftly, sealing off realm gates that linked Ulgu to Shyish, the realm of death, and fortifying the borders of his shadowy domain. Malerion understood that while the realms of light and order struggled to contain the undead, he had to protect Ulgu's secrets at all costs. The Soul Wars saw Malerion's forces working in the background, pulling strings, and making moves that were often invisible to the larger powers at play. His shadow magic allowed him to counter the undead in ways that the forces of light could not, using illusions and deception to disrupt the armies of Nagash. He saw the war as a chessboard, with each move carefully calculated, each battle a piece in a much larger puzzle. Malerion's relationship with the other gods became more complex during this time. Sigmar needed him, but the Shadow King's loyalty was never guaranteed. He was a figure who walked a tightrope between ally and adversary, a being whose allegiance could shift like the shadows themselves. The current age, master of shadows and secrets. Now in the Age of Sigmar 4th edition, Malerion stands as one of the most enigmatic and powerful figures in the mortal realms. He rules Ulgu with an iron hand, his eyes ever watchful for threats both within and without. His mastery of shadow magic is unparalleled, and he has become a god who understands that power lies not just in strength, but in the control of knowledge, secrets, and illusions. Malerion's relationship with Morathi remains tense and unpredictable. She has carved out her own empire within Ulgu, manipulating the shadows to her advantage, but Malerion keeps a close watch on her schemes. Their interactions are a dance of deception and manipulation, with each trying to outmaneuver the other. In Broken Realms, Morathi, their rivalry comes to a head, revealing just how far they are willing to go to maintain control over their domains. Malerion's presence in the mortal realms is felt even in places where he does not physically tread. His spies and agents are everywhere, gathering information, spreading rumors, and ensuring that he remains one step ahead of his enemies. His influence is subtle, but far-reaching, and his power is feared by those who understand that he is a god who does not forgive betrayal lightly. His role in the Age of Sigmar is not that of a conqueror, but of a manipulator, a being who shapes events from the shadows. He is a god who knows that the realms are never truly safe, that darkness always lingers just beyond the light, and that only by mastering the shadows can one hope to control them. Conclusion: the Shadow King's legacy. Malerion's story is one of ambition, transformation, and the mastery of darkness. From his origins as Malakith in the world that was to his rise as Malerion the Shadow King in the mortal realms, he has been a figure who defies simple definition. He is not a hero, nor is he a villain. He is a god who understands that the world is never black and white, but a tapestry of shadows and light. For those new to the Age of Sigmar, Malerion's story is a glimpse into the complexities of the mortal realms, a world where gods are flawed, alliances are fragile, and power is as fleeting as the morning mist. His journey is a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous threats are those that cannot be seen, and the greatest power lies in the shadows. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of Malerion, the Shadow King. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore of the mortal realms, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. There are countless more stories of gods, heroes, and legends to discover, and I look forward to sharing them with you.